Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust, and we're talking about the Rust vehicles, and this pertains to PC, Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4, as the beta is just around the corner. We're anxiously awaiting that still. Again, hopefully by the time you guys see this, we're actually playing it on the beta. But this pertains to everybody because the PC version I should say the beta version or the full release version of Rust for PlayStation 4 and the Xbox will contain everything that the PC has. Now, with that being said, this does pertain to everybody, and this focuses on the Rust car beta. I think that's what they're calling it. I don't know. Monday the 18th is when it starts. So yeah, basically we're gonna jump into it on the 18th, try it out, and then that's basically what's coming for us. Maybe in the beta, but definitely for full release, if that makes sense. So it's for everybody. See, I put PC up there at the top, like a scrub. So yeah, very exciting. So I guess they're calling it the Rust car beta. I'm not entirely sure. So since we don't have access to it, come on, Detail, pop in. I made a very sad version of the lift and stuff, but we've been pouring through the commit list and hopefully showing you guys some stuff that you haven't heard or seen maybe yet. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a rehash of what we've done previously, or we'll see. So, like, it's my poor man. Look, it's my lift. Isn't this sad? Look. This is developer vehicle, by the way. This has been in the car for a hot minute. Only admins and stuff can spawn it in. It is drivable. I know I've showcased that in my videos previously, so yeah, it's just to kind of show maybe how tall it could be and maybe what space it could take up potentially. It's a rather large footprint, but vehicles are going to be a game changer. So yes, okay, let me just tab over to what we've done previously. I've been cutting these things out and taking some stabs at the commit list, so I think what we'll do is kind of go through and highlight some of the things that I've seen, things that I've noticed. We'll see if they're true or not true. Some of them appear to be true based off of the commit list. Again, this is all in development. They could balance it, they could take things out, they could add things. So basically things can change. So here we go. On the first set here, and we made this comparison before, but these both A and B vehicles have the same engine type, and again, those engines look like they're inside of that frame. Also, they appear to both be 3-slot frames. And from what I can gather, I think there's 2-slot, 3-slot, and 4-slot frames. So I guess small, medium, large? Does that make sense? So 2 slots, 3 slots, 4 slots, since these are modular vehicles. Anyway, fluid container on the back of vehicle A there, which is cool. That could be for gas or water. And it's so cool to see these different configurations and stuff in here. Let me go ahead and can I just bust this out with this? Can I do it like this? Where's my cursor? Can it just do it? No? Not today? Great. Okay, there's my cursor. Okay, so yeah, it's interesting. And then look, like this guy's got a fluid container, but there's 4 seats in there. That's pretty wild. Oh man, if we can just load these things up with loot, I'm all set. You know what I mean? Ooh, yes. Okay, scrolling down. We saw these before. We're going to call this vehicle C and vehicle D. These appear to have the same engine, but this is the comparison between a 2-slot and a 3-slot. Also, note the container in the back for loot. Yes, oh buddy, oh yes. I'm all about that loot. So that's interesting. So we're going to keep going down a little bit further. I don't think we had this one in the last setup. This appears to be a different engine tier and also a 3-slot frame. And maybe potentially a spot to put one of these little guys in the back. Who knows, right? Like, if you can dump loot in there and go quick, I'm all about it. Loot mobile. Yes. Okay, so I thought this was interesting. And again, none of these should be terribly new. But again, we got the loot container in the back. But this is what we're trying to simulate here. We have a car lift. This is a poor man's car lift. I know it's sad. But this kind of gives you an idea of maybe how large it's going to be. And we do have some commits based off of some questions you might have there. Again, we're seeing the same cab and engine combination. This appears to be a 3-slot frame. And if you look here, operational room, so you can kind of map out it's 3 wide. It looks like the lift maybe goes on 1 and change, because this appears to be like a control panel for it. I believe you have to put this on the lift to add things. I'm not entirely sure. But also, when the lift goes up, there has to be height above it. So I wanted to really like show that, right? And again, we'll be in the beta playing it, live streaming it. So you can always come by and ask questions and be like, hey, try combining this, try doing that, and we'll definitely try it out. But I just wanted to show you, like, when it goes up, it's going to have clearance. So just something to think about, because I know you're going to want these. These are going to be super valuable, super useful, and you're going to want to incorporate them in your base or make a garage of some sort. You know, maybe sticking this on the base doesn't make sense because it would make a vulnerability for it, so maybe you'd have to create an actual garage for it. But it appears that these do fit through the garage door frames, or their wall frames. So just, you know, stuff I want you guys to think about, stuff we're thinking about. So yeah, let me tab back here. So one of the other things, and these have been around for a while, these concepts are fairly close to what we're seeing for some of these, but what I thought was interesting, okay, so this, well, okay, let me finish this out. So what I thought was interesting was this gun configuration on the back. Something we want to try. Now, normally I wouldn't take concepts because I know they change, but look at this. There's a lot of this that's still sticking around. Like, look at this cab here, or this front of the engine. Doesn't that look really familiar to, I don't know, this on vehicle E? Am I right? So, again, stuff to think about, stuff we're thinking about, stuff we're definitely going to try during the vehicle beta. And then in turn, this is all coming for all of us. Now, is this going to be in the PlayStation 4 and Xbox Rust beta? I don't know. That's an excellent question. I think based off of stability and tweaks, you know, we'll see. We'll see. So definitely things we're all keen on figuring out. Okay, so let me go to the commit list and maybe show you. Hopefully I showed you these vehicles long enough. I didn't like scroll through them too quickly. I just thought that was quite interesting that a lot of these appear to be showing up in the actual development. So, okay, real quick, this right here, I believe this engine type on the front of this concept is the same as this engine right here. You can see how they're very similar. They changed the visual style of it a little bit, which is pretty cool. And it's also the same engine on the back of vehicle C. So, okay, let's keep going. All right, commit list. And these are things we'll find out pretty quickly. So, I thought this was very interesting. This one says double car spawn default population density 1.5, whatever. It says spawns around 50 cars on a 4K map. That's a lot of cars. So that tells us a couple things. A lot of cars, but they also spawn in a certain state. So I don't know what that entails necessarily, but that's interesting. That I mean, can we use them off the rip? Can we not use them off the rip? You know, question mark, question mark. Another thing, I did see, I think we might cover this in another commit, but I want to put it out there. People are like, because in this commit branch, you can see where they said disabled helicopters. Now, that can mean like 3 things. Helicopters could go along the same route as vehicles where we have to put them together and they're modular. But they could also just be turned off because on the vehicle beta for the PC, we're just going to be testing vehicles. So why would they want to have helicopters on? I think that's more likely, but I don't actually know. I just want that out there because I've seen it around and people are freaking out. They're like, oh my goodness, they're turning off helicopters. Maybe they're reworking it. I don't know. Maybe they're going to make them modular. I don't know. Or maybe, just maybe, they're just turning them off so we can test the vehicles. So I'd say don't freak out. Either way, I would say trust Gary's balance that he's going to put down on the game, whatever that may be. So either way, it's going to be fun. I know that. Okay, so let me go back to this. Sorry. Okay, so about 50 cars, and again, all of this could change. Okay, so I thought this was interesting. It says Tier 1 engine component spawns. I'm assuming that's what that is, and S2P roadside monuments. Oh, maybe they will spawn in there. So it looks like engines will have components? Maybe? And maybe? I mean, I don't know. So it looks like the engine block itself will definitely have components in it. So I don't know what that's going to entail. Will the chassis have those component slots too? Will we have component slots for the cab? I don't know. But that definitely says that it goes in depth, which is great. I love that kind of gameplay. I think you guys will too. Okay, it says engines will now spawn in with no internal items. Okay, I guess that answers our question. So it looks like engines do have components. And maybe based... Okay, hang on a sec. Maybe based off of... If they do spawn in on the... Does that mean... They're just missing something to start? Okay, I think I know what this means. Okay, so like, I don't know if you guys have seen H1Z1, the survival, back in the day. You used to have to put components in the engine to run it. So maybe that'll be the way to kind of like, A, for you to complete it, and B, for you to like, air quote, take the keys out of the car, if that makes sense. We did a lot for H1Z1 because we were vehicle heavy in that game. At least we were. We played that way. But anyways, okay, back to the list. So we'll see. I mean, all things I want to try out. Vehicles, seating modules to apply damage protection to their passengers. Okay, so that brings up another question. Will there also be modules for the seat component? Does it work like horse armor when you're sitting on top of a horse, and does it grant you protection? It appears to be that way. Interesting. Just, you know, stuff to think about. This one said multi-engine vehicles. They're talking about something else about the engine curve. So we can stack multiple engines. That's sick. So if we have a 4-slot frame, right? Did I put the bus in here somewhere? I don't think I did. I think it was in the one we did last time, but can you imagine us putting in a long thing there and then having like an armored portion? That's going to be sick. Okay. I'm excited to see what kind of stuff we can do to push it to the limits. Okay. Next one here. Hide all chassis items as well. I don't know if that is a visual thing or, again, if they are a container. Will there be things we can put in there to make the chassis more durable? Give us more traction, give us more weight, less weight, question mark. I thought that was interesting. Okay, next one. Hide generic base prefabs for chassis modules. That kind of supports that idea we were just talking about. Here's the other commit. Crafting time balance for engine components. Just thought that was interesting. It goes back to the engine component part, which I think is awesome. If that does have a lot of parts in there, that's going to be sick. I can't wait. And this was the one we talked about earlier. Disabled minicopter spawns. Now, this is for our vehicle beta. That does not mean that all of them will be shut off. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But this is more likely turned off so you can just focus on vehicles. There's a very common thing that people do when they want a larger mass of people to try things and try different game mechanics, and they want them to break it. They will turn off other things that would distract them. That's common. I think that's what it is, but again, a speculation. And there was another disable for the scrap transport as well. So I would just say, don't freak out. And even if they did take it out, like I said before, trust that Gary is going to give us good game balance and good gameplay. Add a lift to compound sell orders. I don't know if that means, I don't know if that's like an internal call or if that's like, if it's sold somewhere. I don't know. But it's just interesting that quite possibly that's a BP. Most likely that's a BP. Or maybe it's being sold elsewhere. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting. I don't really know what conclusion we'll draw from that, but I just struck my fancy. Okay. Car lift no longer default BP. Okay, I guess that answers that. Car lift crafting cost balance likely to change. Okay, so it looks like they're tweaking that, but that's interesting. So we're gonna have to find that BP. This guy. This little dude right here. This sad version that we put in game. It makes me sad. I'm like, it's make-believe. Come on, guys. Okay. Go back to this one. And crafting time balance for engine components. Again, strong indications that we have multiple parts in there. Oh, man, I can't wait to see what those are. And this was the one I left out last time. Or not left out, I told you about it, but I didn't have the link to it. It looks like indoor decay time will be 36 hours. And it'll be less when it's outside. So kind of like that same decay model, but just more time with a scrap transport. Jeez, not the transport, the mini. So, and again, those are most definitely going to be tweaked up or down based off of how we play them in the beta. Now, how this works, again, real quick, as far as I understand it, and again, I got this beta information from Shadowfrax. He's awesome. He's a Rust YouTuber, streamer over on Twitch. He's always given us cool updates and done cool stuff around Rust. So he's a good dude, but he was talking about how this is going to go into a vehicle beta first, and then it will appear in the staging branch next month. And again, none of those are the standard branch that we play on. Another reason why I'm like saying the fact that they disabled the helicopters in this like sub branch doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be out this month or next, if that makes sense. So anyways, long story short, it's coming Monday. We're going to be checking it out. Definitely with a console eye, because we're all about that life. And we will be maining Rust on console when it hits. And the only reason really, truly, honestly, we're playing it now is because this is the only, or playing it here on PC is because this is the only place we can play it. I love the PC, don't get me wrong, but, you know, hackers and stuff get really old really fast, so we can't wait to play this with all of our friends, a huge community, and no hackers, so it's going to be great. and we're super excited. Like, I mean, I know I say it every time, but I am. Like, we've been waiting for this forever, and just exciting to see all this advancement and stuff in the game itself, in the core game. I mean, it's always been getting better, but these cars are next level, dude. These are gonna be sick. Here, let's see if we can actually drive this down. So yes, if you found the video useful, be sure to drop a like. It does help out quite a bit. And if you're into Rust or open world survival games, consider dropping a subscribe and turning on notifications if that's something you are into. And those of you that have already, I appreciate you. And hopefully we'll see you guys in the next live stream for Rust, the next video. And we'll be squeezing in some DayZ as well. Any other open world survivals. I guess I should throw in, this is like off topic, but kind of on topic. It looks like it was a Dead Matter. That might be in June or July, so we'll be checking out that beta. And the Starbase, all open world survival, which is more like Space Engineers / open world survival. Like just to the next level, if that makes sense. That should be coming out soon. So whenever those peak in, we're going to be trying to throw up a stream on those just to check them out so you guys can see them too. Because they look really exciting, and we just want to see what they're all about. So anyways, I'll stop rambling, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the next one. And let me try to drive off of the ramp. Here we go. Ooh, that actually worked. I am so good.